Good evening everyone, and welcome to Gundam News. It was a bit of a slow news week this time around, but we did still get one big announcement, both physically and monetarily. After being announced at the 2022 Tamashii Nation event, the metal-built Providence Gundam has finally gone up for pre-order. For a massive 46,200 yen, which directly translates to 313 US and indirectly to 420 US. Nice. What is less nice though is that it is a P Bandai limited action figure. But what does this large sum of money get you? First up, we get the usual metal build features like a very fancy paint job, die-cast parts for the joints, and a very intricate redesign. And especially unlike the signature features of the Providence, the already big beam rifle has now become even more chunky, and it also has some opening panels for when it's in firing mode, and the massive backpack is now just ridiculously massive. Like, at this point, it's not even, like, I wouldn't even call it the backpack anymore. I would just call it the Providence now, and the mobile suit has become the front pack, the fanny pack. For accessories then, we get a bunch of different hand options, a beam saber effect part, and posable clear arms that have the ability to display the Dragoons launching and in attack position. A good idea that not only looks cool, but is also space efficient in your display cabinet. And this massive backpack with its Gundam will be flying your way in January. And there's also some good news for the Robot Spirits fans. Tamashii Nations is celebrating the 15th anniversary of the series with two cool things. Over at the Tamashii Store Tokyo, they will be holding a special exhibit from the 16th until November the 12th, and then from the 15th, they will be having an online vote where you can vote on which mobile suit you want as the next Robot Spirits figure and as the next Metal Robot Spirits figure. And what's really cool is that it seems like you're also going to be able to easily vote as a non-Japanese resident. Because as far as I could tell, at the moment, before the voting has officially opened of course, there are no annoying region locks or signups, and when I went to the page, it was even automatically translated into English, making the voting process even easier. So kudos to them, and I will of course have it linked down below. Just keep in mind though that just because a mobile suit wins doesn't automatically mean that it will become the next Robot Spirits figure or Metal Robot Spirits figure. And over at the Gundam base, they are also preparing for a party, because from the 15th until mid-November, they will have the Gundam Build World Exhibition, which is not just there to promote the upcoming Gundam Build Metaverse, woohoo, but also to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Gundam Build series as a whole. And it's not just a bunch of exhibitions either. From the 16th to the 18th, the Fukuoka Gundam base will have another round of the Gunpla Scan movie. On the 23rd and 24th, the Tokyo Gundam base will also have another round of the Gunpla Scan movie. And from October the 7th until October the 13th, both locations will have one of those turn the wheel to make a ball fall, like a colored ball fall out lotteries. You can get one spin per seat that has at least one Gunpla from the build series and has a total of over 3,000 yen, around 20 US, and the prizes are a special Gunpla, which, judging from the image, is a Gunpla with a special coating, a regular Gunpla, which can also include limited kits, again, going by the picture, a system weapon kit, a random Gundam marker, or a random sticker as a consolation prize. And talking about the Gundam base, a Gundam base satellite will open up tomorrow in Sendai's Parco shopping mall. For the Gunpla news then, things are a bit more alleged. Bandai has officially announced that on September the 26th, they'll be holding the next Hobby New Item Info, an online event in which they'll showcase the Gunpla and other model kits that will be releasing in January and beyond. And unofficially then, someone claims that the list of Gunpla they'll be announcing has been leaked, with the new models being the Master Grade Narrative Gundam version Katoki, High Grade Gundam Metaverse New Product A, High Grade Freedom Gundam Kai, High Grade Justice Gundam Kai, High Grade Gundam Seed Freedom New Product A, High Grade Gundam Seed Freedom New Product B, Figurized Standard Gundam Metaverse New Product A, and Figurized Standard Lacus Klein Gundam Seed Freedom version. And here's what I think about this list. For the most part, it does look believable, but I also think that it is just very good guesses. Like, of course we're going to get a new Justice and Freedom Gundam announcement, and to make it believable, let's just throw Kai behind their names, which is in line with some of the upgraded mobile suits. And for the mobile suits that we don't have a name, we'll just go with Bandai's usual naming scheme of new product A, B, C, etc. Like, saying that they'll be announcing 2 new Gundam Seed Freedom kits and a Gundam Build Metaverse kit is the safest bet you can make. You're saying something, but at the same time, you're also not really saying anything. But what really makes me question this list is the Master Grade Narrative Gundam version Katoki. Maybe it's a case of me not wanting to believe it, but I'm not buying this either way. With so many more prolific mobile suits to choose from, I would be genuinely surprised if they went with the narrative. So take this leak with a giant grain of salt. Meanwhile, on the gaming front, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for PlayStation, the very thick Bull G Thunderbolt version joins the fun. In the Bonds of the Battlefield 2 arcade game, the GPO-1 and Gerbera Tetra joined the fun. In UC Engage, we got the Narrative Gundam B packs with Yona, the Gundam Mudrock, and a bunch of bonuses to celebrate the 3 million downloads. And finally, for the Gundam Extreme vs. 2 Overboost arcade game, it was announced that on the 20th we'll be getting quite the update. The Gundam 00 Sky will join the lineup, all other units will receive some balancing, a new tutorial will become available, and from the 26th, a new navigator from Project N Extreme will be joining. In other news then, in the Fukuoka Art Museum, the giant robot exhibition has begun, which of course includes a lot of Gundam-related things, and runs until November the 12th. In Joetsu's Takada Nishi Tsutaya, a new Gashapon store has opened up, and this week's Mobile Suit Girl focus is the rear of the Braw Bro Girl, giving us a better view of how the backpack is connected to the back. And looking at the girl herself from behind, it also made me realize how her helmet is like inspired by the shape of the giant new type helmet that you see Shalia Bull and Lala Soon wear. As for the things you could get this week then, starting Monday, Mobile Suit Ensemble 25 started conquering Gashapon machines across Japan, meaning that for 500 yen a spin, 3 US, you can get the Shining Gundam, Gundam Aerial Rebuild, the Windam, Striker pack set for the Windam, or an accessory set for the God Gundam and the Aerial Gundam, making for a total of 5 to collect. And for this week's reading material, there was the October issue of Animedia, featuring a special report on the Witch from Mercury Festival, the October issue of Animage, the October issue of New Type, featuring interviews with the main mech designers of Witch from Mercury, the 19th issue of Big Comic Superior, in which Gundam Thunderbolt is being serialized, and pre-orders went live for the Yamane Kimitoshi production design art book. At 5,995 yen, 41 US, it isn't exactly cheap, but it does have 384 pages with over 1,000 mechanical designs from series like Gundam Seed, the 08 MS Team, MS Igloo, Reconquista NG, and also a variety of non-Gundam shows, like Cowboy Bebop, Escaflowne, and so on. It is available from Japanese bookstores and hobby stores, so I will of course have it linked down below, and it will be flying your way on October the 27th. Moving on to this week's Gundam Apparel then, where Strict G kicked things off on Friday with a Denim Haro collection. You can get a denim jacket with Haro design on the left pocket for 23,100 yen, 157 US, a pair of straight jeans with Haro design on the right pocket for 14,850 yen, 101 US. Then there's a Haro t-shirt for 6,380 yen, 43 US, and yes, there is also straight up a denim Haro, which goes for 8,800 yen, 60 US. And as always, links to get these as well as a guide on how to get these down below. From Bankure then, pre-orders for the Cracked Zaku Mono Eye collection opened up on Monday, featuring a damaged Zaku head from episode 16 of the original Gundam series. You can get it on a black t-shirt for 4,070 yen, 28 US, a clear pouch for 1,100 yen, 7 US, a hard case for 3,190 yen, 22 US, or a microfiber cloth for 770 yen, 5 US. And then finally on Monday, we got the amazing Dummy Balloon New Gundam collection, featuring a single new Gundam dummy balloon on a hoodie for 9,350 yen, 63 US, 3 new Gundam dummy balloons on a tote bag for 4,510 yen, 31 US, and then a cushion that is vaguely shaped like the new Gundam dummy balloon for 2,750 yen, 19 US. And all of these Bankure items are slated for a November release. And as always, let's quickly wrap things up with the polls. Apparently, September 25th is Antique Day, so Gundam.info wants to know which mech comes to mind when you hear the word antique. With the choices being the Cattle from Double Zeta Gundam, the Guntank R44 from F91, the Turn-A from Turn-A, or the Barbs from Iron Blooded Orphans. And both the Twitter version and the Gundam.info version are very much in agreement on the first and last place. The Cattle is unfortunately in dead last, and the Turn-A Gundam is first. And both are in their respective places with a relatively large margin, so I don't think that's going to change. And that's also not that surprising, I feel. Like, the Turn-A Gundam was literally excavated along with many other mobile suits from the series, and not only was it super old, but it was still able to kick a lot of ass for being so old. So, an obvious first place it is. The Cattle then definitely deserves to be on the list, and was even literally called an antique in the series, but it is a more niche machine from a more niche series, so I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of people don't even know about the existence of the UC Killdozer. Going head to head for the second place then, we have the very old and equally badass Barbs, and the literal museum piece, the Guntank R44. It is the youngest machine on this list, but because it ended up in a museum and it didn't get the proper maintenance that it needed, combined with its performance in the series, it definitely feels like the oldest one on the list. So yeah, if you want to let your voice be heard, I will of course have the link to both versions down below. Personally, I went with the Turn-A Gundam, but I also would have loved to see the Tallgeese on this list, because just like the Guntank R44, it was treated like a literal antique and a literal museum piece, but just like the Turn-A, the Barbs, and even the Cattle, it was still able to kick ass despite its age. But that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.